Hi everyone, my name is Teacher Angelina. I'm currently a teacher in SMK MERBAU and I've been teaching in SMK MERBAU for the past 7 years, focusing with the lower form science. So there's a feedback that I carry out with the student, which is I ask them whether or not they enjoy the science lesson. And then most of them, they tell me that they actually enjoy the science lesson very, very much. But then the part that they enjoy the most about the science lesson is the experiment. But then me as teacher, I can't deny that the learning of the science process itself, it actually requires the student to do some sort of memorizing. Memorizing itself will help the student to actually apply the knowledge that they learn in the science in their daily life. So no matter whether it is a KSSM syllabus or KPSM syllabus, we actually require the student to memorize about the different part of the human eyes and also the function of the human eyes. So what happened during the normal lesson is that teacher is going to share a slide of the different part of the human eyes, and at the same time, we are going to explain every different part to the students. And after that lesson itself, we will ask the student to memorize the different name and memorize the different functions. And then what is going to happen during the next lesson is we will give a handout to the students and we will ask the student, okay, come, fill in the blank and fill in the function for the different structures of the eyes. Okay, all right. If this happened for the during the past 10 years, I guess the student will be totally fine with it. But then during nowadays, right, most of the students, they actually don't really enjoy this kind of 2D thingies. Okay, they don't really enjoy the handouts itself. So before I carry out my action research, what do I do is that I actually carry out a survey with my students. I ask my students about their opinion regarding the conventional teaching method. And 90% of the boys, they told me that they don't really enjoy the conventional teaching method. And 65% of the girls, they told me that they don't enjoy the conventional teaching method. And for the level of engagement and concentration, 35% of the boys agree that they can actually engage during the lesson. And 55% of the girls, they said that they can enjoy during the lesson. And then 42% of the boy and 45% of the girls, they told me that they are able to think outside the box through the conventional teaching method. And then 30% of the boys and 55% of the girls, they tell me that throughout the conventional teaching method, they can actually feel relaxed, comfortable, and having a very fun atmosphere. So from this survey itself, right, I do a feedback and I do a reflection about what is the way that I can actually help out my student, especially during this time of pandemic. During this time of pandemic, right, the lesson itself, it go in front of a screen and then we don't have the human touch over there. So it is actually really, really a difficult thing to get students engaged during the classroom. So what do I do is I come across with a new method which we call as a gamification, where the students are able to learn something new through the game-based element. And then the student can actually assimilate the new information that they learned inside this game, and it made the learning process more fun. And then at the same time, we are able to test the student knowledge. And then, not to deny that the gamification itself, there's a bunch of benefits, which include it can help the student to have a more relaxed atmosphere, and it can help the student to enjoy, to have more fun, more comfortable, higher engagement, and to think outside the box. So in order to make my student engage more, and also at the same time, I would like to integrate the gamification inside my lesson. What do I do is that I come across with a new idea, which is I want to do this IQ rush. So the IQ rush itself, is a method that I use with the help of the apps that I call as a word war. Okay, so word war application is actually an application which is free from everyone, where the teacher can just actually sign up, and after the teacher sign up, they can straight away just log in there. And when the teacher log in, what is going to happen is that teacher can actually just straight away go and create the activity. So when we click on the create activity button, what we are going to see over there is there's actually a lot of choices that teacher can choose over here. Teacher can choose whatever form of the games that they would like the lesson to be. And then for me, the IQ brush itself, I will be using the balloon pop method. So what is going to happen is that I will click on the balloon pop, and next this page is going to come up. So I will name the activity, and then after that, because for the IQ brush itself, we will be focusing on the different part of the eyes and the function of it. So what am I going to do over here is at the keyword part, I will be typing down the different part of the human's eyes. And then for the definition part, what am I going to do is I will be writing down different functions over here. So at the end of it, what is going to happen? It will be something like this. So we have a title, and we have a different part of the eyes, and then we have a different function of the eyes. Okay, and next, what is going to happen is that we will get started. We will just straight away get started with the games. Okay, so for the game itself, they are going to have a different level. It depends on the teacher itself. How many level do you want it to be? So of course, just like a normal game, the level 1 will be the easiest one. So what is going to happen for the level 1? Okay, the student only need to choose one function for the part of the eyes. So over here, supply the oxygen and nutrient to the eyes. I know that the function is going to be chloride. So what the student need to do is they will click on the chloride, and then this chloride is going to drop on the back of the trend, and the student can actually go to the next level, level 2. So when you go to the level 2, of course, it will get a little bit harder, where the student need to click the function for 2 different parts of the eyes, and it is going to look something like this. So the student need to choose the right function with the right part, and then the part of the eyes is going to drop on a trend, and the student can carry on to the next level. So for the next level, of course, it will get a little bit harder, and the student need to choose more function for the different parts of the eyes. So for the level 3, it will involve 3 different parts of the eyes. So how should we choose like a different level, or how long is this game going to last for? It really depends on the teacher himself or herself. So if we try to look over here, right, they actually have an option over here where the teacher can actually set the timer and even set the speed. And of course, the teacher can actually choose how many levels do they want. And then we have a bonus. And at the end of the game, teacher can actually choose to show the answer itself. So what happened over here is that I carry out this research together with my students. And what happened is that I can actually see a huge improvement among the students. So for the pre-test, what happened is that only 30% of the students are able to name at least 8 parts of the human eyes. But then at the end of this action research, there are 75 of the students who were able to name at least 8 different parts of the human's eyes. And then for stating the function itself, it is a little bit harder because there's more words over there. So for the pre-test, only 20% of the students are able to name 8 functions of the different part of the human eyes. But then for the post-test, we can actually see a huge improvement over here, which is 55% of the students are able to name at least 8 functions of the different part of the eyes. And other than doing the pre and the post-test, I also carry out a survey or maybe a feedback from the student. And I really know that the student love the game itself. The student told me that they feel motivated and they don't even mind to answer more questions because they feel that the game itself can actually stimulate their memories. And then they feel that this is actually a very interactive way of learning, and they wish to see more of this in the future lesson. So And at the end of the action research, I have carried out another survey together with the students, and then the blue color over here is the percentage that we have before the IQ rush, and then the black part is actually the percentage the student score after the IQ rush is being carried out. So if we try to have a look over here, right, we can actually see another huge improvement among the students. They actually feel that after this IQ rush itself, they, they engage more, they're able to think outside the box, they feel more relaxed, more comfortable, and more fun during the lesson. So I'm pretty sure that this IQ rush itself is a successful innovation that I created for my student to make them more engaged during my lesson. And of course, to make them learn something with an easier method. But not to deny that, even though this gamification is a very, very, very good method, and I can, of course, definitely help out my student during the lesson itself. But we as an educator, we got to remember one thing. Every lesson, when we carry out gamification, we got to know what is our real objective for the lesson. Because if we as an educator, we don't know what is our objective from this gamification, okay, not to deny that we are able to give students a wonderful experience, but then there's a chances of student actually didn't get anything from this lesson, and the gamification that we carry out over here is just a distraction for the students. So there's one thing that we all got to bear in mind whenever we carry out this gamification in the lesson is we're going to make sure that we as an educator, we know our objective. Thank you very much.